feeling stuck in the weeds, feeling the grind, feeling like you're going backwards is something most of us as business owners experience. And this week's episode is about something to disconnect you from that and move you forwards. Welcome to episode 233 of MiTV, which this week is going to be a tactic, a hack, a trick, a place you can fall back to, something you can do every single time you have those weeks where you're like, I feel stuck in the weeds, I feel like we're going backwards, I feel like I'm not moving forwards. And before you get sucked in, my hack today is just going to break your mental connection to it and focus on actually what is possible for you in your life. My name is Emma Mills, and I help business owners who are growing their team and going from the messy middle of a solopreneur to a thriving team. And we know all the things all the hats you have to wear and all the things that have to happen to grow the business you love. And this week's episode is going to focus on how we can get you out of the weeds and the messy middle and give you that light, because we do all of our good stuff when we are light and creative and we're focusing on the fun stuff. And even when you have the hard weeks, I want to give you 30 minutes back to yourself to dream about going forwards. So I just got one simple and it's fun thing for you to do every week, because just to clarify, so I have the weeks where I feel like we're not moving forwards and all I'm focused on right now is the right now. It's the right now, but it's also the potential future worrying of, oh, it feels hard now, we're not moving forward, how are we going to get to where we want to go? And that's because we all do it, but we're focusing on this immediate fire we're putting out or problem we're solving. And it's really easy, as Gary Vee would say, I guess, to focus on the micro, when actually we want to take a step back and actually look at why we started what we're doing and what our goals are. And even though this might be hard right now, because as we know, anything that we create, build, anything that's worth doing has got, in between the beginning and the end, has got a really messy middle. And it's that messy middle where we need to keep pushing. And so my focus for you this week is, when you have those weeks, and if you haven't had them for a while, I'm pretty sure they're going to happen, or if you know exactly what I'm talking about, is to think, okay, this is just how it is. We can't expect the journey not to be hard. I mean, as Brendon Burchard says, you need to honor the struggle, because the struggle is part of everything good. So we can't ever think that doing big things is going to be easy, because that's just never ever going to happen unless you happen to buy, I don't know, a Bitcoin in the year 2000. It's just part of creating great things. So we have to be in tune with things do take our best selves. They're going to be hard, and we're going to have those weeks where it feels like we wish we'd never started it. And so we have to be aware of that, because when you step back and go, okay, Emma here doesn't enjoy what she's doing, it feels difficult, but it's part of where I'm going. So this is really key, to just actually take the situation for what it is and know that it's right now, it's not forever. Part two, which has really been a savior for me, and I have to give credit to Brendon Burchard, because he calls it making a bold move, but every single week, and it's particularly more helpful for me in the weeks where it's felt less productive. On a Friday, I have an Asana task and it says make a courageous step today, Emma. And for me, those are things like sending a LinkedIn message to somebody that I admire and would like to have a lunch with, or would like to interview on MiTV. It might be sending a message to someone I would love to work with. It might be connecting with somebody that I've spoken to years ago and actually never reached out to. And you know that there could be a really good conversation there. And that's a favorite one for me, going through my contacts on my phone book and my WhatsApps and thinking who from 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago who would actually love to reconnect with. It may be, instead of self-publishing your book, that you decide to write a brief and send it out to 25 publishing houses and see what the response back is. I saw a motivational speaker called Laurie Harder talk about this, and she wrote a book. She sent the brief out to, I think it was 30 different publishing houses, all 28 of them, one after another, said no, and then 29 said maybe. And this is the thing with taking courageous steps. You can't take one and expect it to come off, but you can take 30 and expect one or two to be maybe we'll chat and see, or maybe we'll have a conversation. Maybe it's booking onto a networking group that you haven't been to before. Maybe it's seeing if there are new, bigger, better networking groups in a town near you or in London. Maybe it's connecting, like just thinking about what would be a really courageous thing for me to do in my business. Maybe it's in your personal life. Maybe it's, do you know what? I put myself on the back burner for so long, but I've been dreaming about booking onto that Spanish class. Maybe actually today I'm going to take that 30 minutes and look into how much it costs and when the classes start. Maybe it's just reaching out to a family member or friend who you haven't spoken to for ages, but you know you would absolutely get so much enjoyment from just reconnecting. A couple of weeks ago, I have a specific project in mind that I would really like to start, and hopefully across the summer you're going to start to see it bubbling. I've kind of like been dreaming about this and thinking about it a lot, and one particular week, 3 weeks ago, I reached out to a handful of different female business owners that are around me, and we are friends, but I'm not speaking to them every day, and I'm not always sharing my hopes and dreams with them. And I reached out to them about this particular project that I've got in mind. And the responses that I got back, the offers of help, the ideas, the suggestions, and literally that night I went home and I had dinner with Joe, and I said, you know what, I said, I'm so glad I actually reached out and messaged these people, because normally I would sit and look at my laptop and think, come on Emma, how are you going to figure this out? And what I got back from actually just sharing my goals, sharing my dreams, sharing my problems and frustrations of, I want to do this, but I don't know how to sort it out. After 4 WhatsApp voice notes where I just connected with some friends, some business, like for me, female business owners I know, like things were starting to move. It's now out in the ether that I'm thinking about doing this, and people have ideas or it's in their mind. So for me, taking a courageous step is about just shutting the laptop for a moment, or your phone, or just like disconnecting from the nitty gritty of the day to day, and thinking and dreaming about what would be really good for me to progress my goals, to progress my relationships, to do something I enjoy, to do something I've been talking about for ages. What would be a tiny first step? And for me, that helps me reconnect back to where I'm going, where my bigger picture is when things feel hard in the week. And I really hope that you embrace it this week. And even if just one of you goes, do you know what, I'm going to set a task for that on Friday. I'm going to set an alarm, and I'm going to get my favorite cappuccino and think about it and send out some voice notes and WhatsApps and reconnect. And I hope it helps you to get your head out of the dirt and into the focus on the fun stuff clouds. And I will see you next week. See you then. Bye-bye.